Hello, everyone, and welcome to the English Hour. My name is Dylan.
And I'm Chantel. We are so happy you are here with us today. How are you, Dylan?
I'm doing great, Chantel. I'm excited for our topic today. And how are you?
I am wonderful, thank you. I am also very excited. We have a great lesson for everyone today.
Yes, welcome to all our listeners. In our podcast, we help you learn English in a simple and fun way. We speak slowly and clearly so you can understand everything.
That's right. Today we have a very important topic. It is a basic, fundamental part of English. We are talking about the present simple tense.
The present simple. The name sounds a little bit like grammar, a little bit serious.
It does, but please do not worry. It is very easy to learn and very, very useful.
Exactly. We use the present simple tense all the time, every day, in almost every conversation.
So learning it well is a big, important step in your English journey. In this episode, we will explain everything very slowly.
We will show you what the present simple is. We will show you how to use it, and we will practice together.
Yes, lots of practice. So get comfortable, maybe take a sip of water, and let's begin.
Okay, so part one. What is the present simple tense? When do we use it?
Good question. We use the present simple for two main things. First, for habits or routines.
Habits or routines. What does that mean, Chantel?
A habit or routine is something you do often. Maybe you do it every day or every week. It's a normal action for you.
Ah, okay, I see. For example, I drink coffee every morning. This is my routine. It's something I do every day.
Exactly. I drink coffee every morning. That is a perfect example of the present simple for a routine.
What about you, Chantel? What is a routine you have?
I walk in the park on Sundays. Not every day, but it's my routine for every Sunday. So I say, I walk in the park on Sundays.
That's a lovely routine. So, to our listeners, think about your routine. What do you do every day?
Maybe you eat breakfast at 8 a.m. or you watch TV in the evening. These are all routines.
And we use the present simple to talk about them.
Right. So that is the first main use, routines and habits. What is the second use, Dylan?
The second main use is for facts, things that are generally true.
Facts. Can you give us an example?
Of course. For example, the sun rises in the east. This is a fact. It's always true.
It doesn't change. It's a fact of nature.
Another example, water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. This is a scientific fact.
Yes. Or a simpler one. I am from Canada. This is a fact about me. It is true.
And I am from the United States. That is a fact about me. So we use the present simple for these facts.
Okay, so let's review very quickly. Two main uses for the present simple. First, routines and habits.
Like, I get up at 7 o'clock.
And second, facts.
Like, the sky is blue.
Perfect. I think that is very clear.
Now for part two. How do we make sentences in the present simple? Let's talk about positive sentences.
Positive sentences. This means sentences that say yes, not no. For example, I like ice cream is a positive sentence.
Right. The structure, the formula is very simple. It is subject plus verb.
Subject plus verb. Okay. But in English, there's one small important rule we need to remember. It depends on the subject.
That's true. Let's make two groups for the subjects. Group one is I, you, we, they.
Let's repeat that. I, you, we, they. For this group, we use the basic form of the verb. No changes.
For example, with the verb speak, we say I speak, you speak, we speak, they speak.
Very simple. The verb speak does not change. Let's give some more examples with the verb read.
I read books. You read magazines. We read the news, they read emails.
Perfect. Notice the verb read is the same for all of them.
Now let's do a little practice for our listeners. We will say the subject, and you can say a sentence with the verb play. For example, if we say I, you say I play football, or I play the piano.
Great idea. Ready, everyone? The first subject is we.
You could say, we play tennis on Saturdays.
Good. Next subject, you.
A possible answer is, you play computer games.
And the last one, they.
You might say, they play with their dog.
Great job, everyone. So that was group 1. I, you, we, they. It is easy. Just use the verb.
Now for group 2. This is where we need to pay attention. Group 2 is he, she, it.
Let's repeat that. He, she, it. For this group, the rule is we add an S to the end of the verb.
Just the letter S. For example, with the verb work, we don't say he work, we say he works.
That's right. He works, she works, it works. We add the S.
Let's take another verb, live. Chantel, how do we use it with she?
We add an S, so it becomes lives. She lives in Paris.
Exactly. What about it? It can be for an animal or an object. Let's use the verb sleep and talk about a cat.
A cat is it, so we say it sleeps a lot. We add the S to sleep.
This is the most important rule in the present simple. Many learners forget the S, so it's very important to practice.
Yes, let's do a listen and repeat exercise. We will say a sentence and you repeat it. Focus on the S sound at the end of the verb.
Ready? I'll go first. He likes pizza.
She speaks 2 languages.
It rains in the winter.
He drives a red car.
She listens to music every day.
Great work. Now there are a few small spelling rules for that S. Most verbs just add S, but some are a little different.
Yes, if a verb ends in S, SH, CH, X, or O, we add ES. The sound is is.
For example, the verb watch. It ends in CH, so we say he watches TV, not he watches.
Another one is go. It ends in O, so it becomes goes. She goes to school.
And wash. It ends in SH, so he washes his car.
There is one more small rule. If a verb ends in a consonant plus Y, we change the Y to an I and add ES.
That sounds complicated, but it's easy with an example. The verb study. It ends in D and Y.
So for he, study becomes studies. STUDIES. He studies hard.
Another example is try. It becomes tries. TRIES. She tries her best.
Okay, don't worry too much about these spelling rules right now. The most important thing is to remember to add the S sound for he, she, and it.
Yes, you will learn the spelling with practice.
Okay, I think we are ready for part 3, negative sentences.
Negative sentences. This is when we want to say no. We talked about I like ice cream. The negative is I do not like ice cream.
To make negative sentences in the present simple, we need 2 special helper words. These words are do not and does not.
In conversation, we usually make these shorter. We say don't instead of do not, and doesn't instead of does not.
Yes, using don't and doesn't sounds more natural, and the rule is very similar to before. It depends on the subject.
Let's use our same 2 groups. Group 1 was I, you, we, they. For this group, we use don't.
The structure is subject plus don't plus the basic verb. For example, I don't play tennis.
You don't speak Spanish. We don't live in Japan. They don't eat meat.
Notice something very important here. After don't, the verb is always in its basic form. No S, no changes.
That's a key point. So group 1 is easy. Subject plus don't plus verb.
Now for group 2. He, she, it. For this group, we use doesn't.
The structure is subject plus doesn't plus the basic verb. For example, he doesn't work on Sundays.
Now listen carefully here. We say he doesn't work, not he doesn't works.
This is a very common mistake. The S that was on the verb in the positive sentence moves to do to become does, so the main verb goes back to its basic form.
Let's show an example. Positive, she likes cats. We have likes with an S.
To make it negative, we use doesn't. The S from likes is now in doesn't, so the sentence is she doesn't like cats. Like has no S.
This is so important. Let's do another one. Positive, it rains here in summer.
Negative, it doesn't rain here in summer. Rain without an S.
Okay, time for our listeners to practice. We will say a positive sentence, you say the negative sentence.
Ready? The first sentence is, I wake up early.
The negative is, I don't wake up early.
Next one, he plays the guitar.
The negative is, I don't wake up early.
Good. Another one, we watch horror movies.
The negative is, we don't watch horror movies.
Last one, be careful. She studies French.
The negative is, she doesn't study French. Remember, study, not studies.
Fantastic. You are all doing so well.
Okay, we know positive sentences and negative sentences. It's time for part 4, asking questions.
Questions are so important for conversation. To ask a question in the present simple, we use our helper words again, but this time we use do and does.
And the rule is the same as before. It depends on the subject. Can you guess which word is for which group?
I think our listeners can. For group 1, I, you, we, they, we use do.
The structure for the question is do plus subject plus the basic verb. We put do at the beginning of the sentence.
For example, to make a question from you like music, we put do at the start. It becomes, do you like music?
Another example, they live here. The question is, do they live here?
It's simple. Just add do to the front. Now for group 2, he, she, it, we use does.
The structure is does plus subject plus the basic verb. We put does at the beginning.
And remember that important rule from the negative sentences? When we use does, the main verb goes back to the basic form, no S.
Let's look at the positive sentence. He works in a bank. To make a question, we start with does, and we take the S from works.
So the question is, does he work in a bank? Not, does he works?
Let's do one more. Positive, she speaks German. The question?
It is, does she speak German?
When someone asks a do or does question, we can give a short answer. For example, Chantel, do you like coffee?
These questions we have practiced are called yes-no questions. The answer is yes or no. Yes, I do. Or if the answer is no, no, I don't.
What about this question? Does he live in London?
The short answers are yes, he does, or no, he doesn't.
Let's do a quick role play. I will ask you some questions about your routine, Chantel.
Okay, I'm ready.
Do you get up early?
Yes, I do. I get up at 6:30.
Do you eat a big breakfast?
No, I don't. I just have some fruit and yogurt.
Do you work in an office?
Yes, I do. I work in a small office downtown.
See, that's how a conversation works, using questions and answers.
We have learned so much. Now it is time for our final part, Part 5,
listening and speaking practice.
In this part, I am going to tell you a short story about a man named Alex. The story uses the present simple many times.
Your job is to listen carefully. After the story, I will ask you some questions to check your understanding. Are you ready? Let's listen to the story about Alex.
This is Alex. Alex is a teacher. He lives in a small house in the city. He doesn't have a car. He likes his house because it is close to his school. Every morning, Alex wakes up at 7 o'clock. He gets out of bed and goes to the kitchen. He makes breakfast. He usually eats toast and an egg. He doesn't drink coffee. He drinks tea with milk. After breakfast, he brushes his teeth and gets dressed. He leaves his house at 8 o'clock. He walks to school. He doesn't take the bus. The school is not far. Alex teaches English to young children. He loves his job. The children like him too. He works from 9 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon. After work, he goes to the supermarket. He buys food for dinner. Then he walks home. In the evening, Alex relaxes. He cooks dinner. He listens to the radio or reads a book. He doesn't watch TV very much. He goes to bed at 10:30. This is Alex's daily routine.
Okay, a nice, simple story about Alex's day. Now let's see what you remember. I will ask a question. You can pause and say the answer. Then we will give you the correct answer.
Let's go.
Question 1. What does Alex do? What is his job?
He is a teacher. Alex is a teacher.
Good. Question 2. Does he live in a big house?
No, he doesn't. He lives in a small house.
Question 3. Does he drink coffee in the morning?
No, he doesn't. He drinks tea.
Question 4. How does he go to school? Does he take the bus?
No, he doesn't. He walks to school.
And the last question, number 5. What does he do in the evening?
He cooks dinner. He listens to the radio or reads a book.
Well done, everyone. That was excellent practice.
And that brings us to the end of our lesson today. Let's do a very quick final review of the most important points.
First, we use the present simple for habits, routines, and facts.
Second, for positive sentences, remember to add S to the verb for he, she, and it. He works. She plays. It rains.
Third, for negative sentences, use don't and doesn't, and always use the basic form of the verb after them. She doesn't like. He doesn't work.
And fourth, for questions, start with do or does, and again, always use the basic form of the verb. Do you know? Does he live?
Practice these rules and you will speak more confidently.
Thank you so much for listening to the English Hour. We hope this lesson was helpful for you.
Join us next time when we will be talking about how to describe your family. Until then, keep practicing and have a wonderful day.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye for now.